Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new on this channel, then please subscribe and press the bell notification icon for more gameplays, reviews and updates. Waking. Waking is the third-person action game developed by Jason Oda, and it was released for Windows and Xbox One. Waking is a journey through your dying mind. As you battle your way through your inner demon, it combines fighting your way through procedurally generated rogue-lite dungeons and mindfulness. It will invite you to reflect on how well you've lived your life, and be a little bit emotionally vulnerable in the process. It will throw personal problems and immoral behaviors at you. Luckily, a mysterious voice calls to you from the ether, a woman, whose sole purpose is seemingly to prevent you from giving up just yet, and urges you to reconsider, as it believes your time is not up yet. You will then spend the remainder of the game, healing your heart and mind from within, to try and escape your fate. With her help, you fight back against the forces that want you to surrender your mind, and dig up past traumas in order to find some reason to live. Suddenly, as you're about to cross over death's doorstep, a voice calls out to you. At first, your surroundings are dark and featureless, but the procedurally generated areas begin to take on more character as you progress. I appreciate the appeal of this design as a selling point for a game's longevity, but I will always prefer a carefully and deliberately designed level over a mishmash of parts. It's a game that requires the player to close their eyes, and do guided meditation to summon allies. A game where the pace of combat is very much intertwined with meditative breathing patterns, where the player is forced to use good coping skills to overcome death itself. Waking isn't a game for everyone, and I'm not even sure if it was for me. But the unique concept and oblique execution alone make it one of the quirkiest titles of the year. I guided my player character to an abandoned farmhouse, then used my weird psychic dream powers to activate a magical crystal. The game then implored me to close my eyes through a soothing session of guided meditation. A calm voice began to ask me questions about my childhood pet, and invited me to think about its entire arc of life. As the game described my pet dying, I couldn't help but to start choking up as I remembered my childhood dog, Peanut, and how I couldn't be there when he passed last year. Somnus is a well-written villain. He's not out to kill you for the sake of it, rather, he is trying to save you from the negativity you've experienced in your life, as well as the potential trauma you could awaken to following your near-death experience. While Somnus and his armies start off gentle and understanding of you, the closer you get to your goal or the end of the game, the more aggressive they become. They won't shy away from throwing faults and misdeeds in your face later in the game. They genuinely felt and looked like they came from two different genres, let alone different games. The creepy folk horror aspects of the demon-like adversaries are effective, and focusing on these may have made for a more cohesive aesthetic choice. When it comes to weapons and combat, the game utilizes three primary methods of engaging your enemies: knowledge is projectiles, feelings is melee, and beliefs is shields. Outside of the most basic enemies, the game requires you to stun your opponents with projectiles before you can attempt melee combat. While in most one-on-one engagements fighting feels great, in more crowded battles the targeting system tends to let you down, even if you're looking directly at the enemy you wish to attack. Overall, fighting is the one of the parts of the game which I did enjoy, but most of the part I was tired to fight the similar-looking creatures. It was like a big fat man trapped in skinny man's body, and unable to move. The movement of each and every moment was slow and barely real, especially when the player was surrounded by the enemies. But given that it is an indie game, it still shine amongst others. It is the combat in Waking that really let the game down for me. You have no attacks to begin with, and must use a combination of telekinetic abilities, and unlocked melee abilities to battle enemies. Flinging trash at enemies using your telekinesis stuns them, so that they drop items which you absorb to add limited charges to your melee or shield abilities. Alongside the sluggish movement, it's a cumbersome and overly complicated combat system. Some items allow you to melee attacks, which require you to pick up and hold down a button to charge them into you. Then you are granted a few strikes, to which you'll need to find the item again to use melee. Other attacks include throwing objects, which can also be used as a temporary shield. Then there is this element called neurons, that you can collect to use special abilities and interact with objects during a level. However, only one skill can be equipped at a time, which can only be chosen from the menu. These abilities are sometimes required to take down a specific enemy or get through a level, so expect to be messing around them for a bit, but if you run out of neurons, you might get yourself stuck. Neurons can also be used to activate the quest objectives, and some of your more powerful skills. Getting hit causes you to lose hope, yet another stat to keep track of, and many boxes are only able to be opened when you have a certain amount. So, is Waking a good game? If you're looking for a polished, complete, mechanically sound and coherent experience, then no, it's not. You'll probably hate this, but if you're willing to open your mind a little bit, to reach deep inside yourself and put it into the game, to explore and engage this thing on its own terms, it might surprise you. In reality, it does affect your thinking while playing this game. When the voice was talking to the player about his mistakes, it also made me think about my past, and in some way, I kinda liked it. This is a gorgeous indie game that showcases the very best in independent art talent the industry has to offer. So that concludes my review here. Thank you for watching, and if you're new on this channel, then please make sure to subscribe and press the bell notification icon for more gameplays, reviews and updates.